Hello again, everybody. Bulls and bears alike. JJ here, Bull Boom Bear Bust. It is still Thursday, February 27th. Getting this out today because we had another brutal sell-off, another 4.5% nearly off the Dow. Also S&P down 4.42%. NASDAQ same, almost down 5% there. Now to me, the scary part is we're not seeing the flight to safety that a lot of people expected. A lot of people here on YouTube, especially alternative economists, and the prepper-minded individuals like myself say that precious metals is going to be a safe haven. Not much of a bid today, just a fraction of a percent, up to gold up to $16.45. Another scary part is oil down $46 now nearly, so nearly a 5% drop in oil. Now we want to talk about a few things. And in my last video, there was a little bit of disagreements with some people down in comments. A lot of people say that this is the drop that's going to start the next economic downturn and there's going to be no correction. As I said in that video, and I'll say it again, I still think there's going to be another boom cycle after this. I think ultimately the central bank's going to come in, and I said that in that video. I'll say it again. It could be anywhere from a few days to a few weeks. But here's what I want to say. And we talked about this, but now there's another excuse that's being floated out there by the president. Okay, we talked about the first excuse, of course, was this scare, this pandemic coming out of China, that could be used as a excuse for the economic correction. And we know the bankers, the politicians, they do not want to be blamed. They do not want to ultimately change the system that leads them to very great wealth. And I pointed out in our last video how the president seemed very calm about the situation. And I think some of you were onto this, but I think it's true that the reason he's calm is because he's going to be just fine. Right? The politicians, the billionaires, the elites, they're going to fly to their private islands when this whole system comes collapsing down. Now, some of you put it down in comments that you think the Fed's not going to come in and rescue this, that this is the crash of all crashes, or that somehow the Fed is going to go away or be eliminated. I wish that was true, and I hope you're right, but I really don't think that's going to happen. The Fed, I doubt they're going to go anywhere. They pretty much have a stranglehold on the economy and the entire money system as they create the currency by issuing debt notes known as the US dollar. Also, cryptos got hit today, down below 9,000 again on Bitcoin. Again, another area that people had thought that other people were going to run to safety. But the dollar is pretty strong and people are running to the dollar right now. Now, I've told you for a while now, I've been out of the stock market in my 401k for over 2 years. I got out very early. I do have a small trading account. I will be buying the dip. First, you wait for the first green day to really go in heavy-handed. And we'll see. It could be next week, could be next month. But ultimately, again, I believe the Fed's not going anywhere. They're going to pump this market back up at some point. But let's play this clip right here. This is out of the president. Oh, and also real quick before we get to the clip here, people had thought, that I sounded too calm in my last video, and I am. I mean, the reason I'm calm is because I've been waiting for this, right? I've been preparing for the bear for a couple years now, and I was early, and I was so early that a lot of people at the beginning thought I was crazy that we'd ever see a stock market crash or correction or recession. And this could be it, because now there's another excuse, and I didn't mention this in my last video. Besides the pandemic that's coming out of China, now just the fact that another president could win the next election, which I think is very possible, somebody like Bernie Sanders. The current president is out there saying that this part of this crash, the stock market correction, is because people are unsure about the election and that people are scared of someone besides him being president. So that's what he's blaming. Take a listen to this.
The stock market has taken a big hit over the past few days. What can you do about that? And if the CDC is right in saying that the spread is inevitable, are you going to be dealing with stock market issues and economy issues for some time to come?
Well, I really think the stock market is something I know a lot about. I think it took a hit maybe for two reasons. I think they look at the people that you watched debating last night and they say if there's even a possibility that can happen. I think it really takes a hit because of that. And it certainly took a hit because of this. And I understand that also because because of supply chains and various other things, and people coming in. But I think the stock market will recover. The economy is very strong. The consumer is the strongest it's ever been. Our consumers are incredible. They're incredible. That's why we're doing well, and other countries have not. Even before the virus, we're doing great. Other countries have not been doing great. Our consumer is very, very strong, very powerful economically. Yeah, please.
So there you heard it. And that's exactly the type of language that I said to expect. Remember, the politicians, the bankers, they never want to point the finger at themselves. And the president's trying to use this to his advantage. He's saying that this panic in the stock market sell-off is because, one, people are scared of other people coming in from other countries. So he's going to use that as one of the reasons why his policies are good. Right? He's also blaming it on the uncertainty of a new president coming in and beating him in the fall, and he's saying that people are scared of a different president, so he's trying to pivot this again into something to his benefit. I've said this many times and I'll say it again though, many people are going to be hurt. Most people in this country are not prepared. They're not aware of how the financial system works. The president had it right on the campaign trail. He said the big fat ugly bubble was going to collapse or implode, and what he did is he came in with stimulus, calls for lower interest rates. He took ownership of the stock market, and now it looks like it's all blowing up in his face. But you watch, mark my words on this, at his next rally, expect him to use this to his benefit. He's going to blame the crash, and he'll probably use this to try to get more support. He's going to blame this big stock market correction on the fear of people coming in from other countries. That's the pandemic that we're seeing. And the fact that there's Democrat candidates that are going to come in and possibly win, and he's going to say that's also causing the stock market crash. Whatever it is, he's not going to take the blame. You can bet that. And again, I really wish he would have came in and just leveled with people that this economy is based on manipulation and lies. But very disappointed. And because of that, I really don't care who wins the next election. I know a lot of people here are on one side or the other. I really don't care. Once we start getting independents in the debates and in the race for the president, then I'll start caring maybe a little bit. But what I recommend here is try to prepare the best you can. Don't expect any politician to come in and save you. Right? I don't think this system can really be saved. I really think we need an economic reset and a complete transformation into a new system. I don't know if any of the candidates right now are going to be offering that. And in fact, things could possibly get worse when you see who's out there. Not to try to spread any gloom and doom or anything like that. We would never do that. Honestly, I don't know. I'm kind of back on the fence on this one again now that I've heard this come out of the president's mouth. What do you think? Is he going to just let the stock market continue to crash? Is the Fed not going to come in and save it before the end of 2020? And he's just going to use this he's going to try to leverage this for to blame. That way he has something to blame it on. Again, he can blame people coming in, the fear of the pandemic, and also the fear of another candidate. Maybe that is his re-election strategy. What do you think? Or do you think, like I am, that the other possibility of this could be that the Fed's still going to come in before the end of the year and pump this thing back up? Well, if you look at the number over the past few days, it appears like either one, the Fed has lost control, or two, they're purposely letting it crash so they can put the blame out there for political advantage. I hate to say this, but politics is a very nasty game. Some very nasty people. Right, the whole system, and I know a lot of people are trapped in this left versus right paradigm here, but the whole system's pretty much them against us, right? The people at the top, the politicians, the bankers against us. Right? All we can do is keep an eye on it, try to figure out what the controllers, what the manipulators are doing, and try to maneuver it as best we can to try to come out on top or at least survive. Right, and hopefully benefit from knowing what to expect. But the situation hasn't changed. I still say prepare for the worst. In this case, I say prepare for the bear. Try to ride the bull. What do you think? Are you putting your money in gold? Are you waiting for the stock market to bottom out and then the correction? You're going to buy the dip, so to speak. Are you waiting for the correction to go into real estate? Let me know down in comments. I'd like to hear from you. That's all for today's update. Everybody, bye for now.